I now call the Shadow Foreign Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and may I thank the Foreign Secretary for advance sight of his statement. Mr. Speaker, over the weekend we were once again reminded of the tragic human toll of this conflict, with Israel recovering the bodies of 6 more innocent hostages murdered by Hamas. The only way, Mr. Speaker, this conflict will be brought to an end and for the suffering to end is through the release of those hostages. This cruel captivity has lasted almost a year. Their suffering and jeopardy is intolerable for Israel, and it should be intolerable for anyone who cares about human rights and human dignity. Many of us in this House have met with the families of the hostages, even in the midst of unimaginable pain and anxiety. They keep the torch burning for their loved ones, publicly highlighting their plight and tremendous bravery. And let us be clear, Mr. Speaker, the onus is on Hamas. They are using the Palestinian people as human shields. Hamas has no humanity and it has no shame. And as Hamas inflicts terrible suffering on both the Israeli and Palestinian people, it should not be forgotten that another Iranian-backed proxy, Hezbollah, is engaged in continuous attacks on Israel's northern border, with the risk of further and yet more dangerous escalation across the Blue Line. Our support for Israel's security is rock solid in the face of threats from those who wish it serious harm, just as we showed in April this year when British personnel and weaponry were used to counter Iran's massive missile attack. We will look carefully, Mr. Speaker, at the limited arms embargo memorandum that the Foreign Secretary has promised the House. While he rightly does not publish his legal advice, we are grateful that he is honouring the promise I gave to the Business and Trade Committee on publishing as much as possible on this. And he will, I know, and as he said, be careful not to indicate in any way at all any moral equivalence between Hamas and the democratically elected government of Israel. In government, Mr. Speaker, we introduced sanctions to undermine Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. We also sanctioned extremist Israeli settlers who committed human rights abuses against Palestinian communities in the West Bank. And we welcome the new sanctions the Foreign Secretary has announced today on 4 IRGC Quds Force targets. Mr. Speaker, implementation of the UN Security Council Resolution 1701 remains our best hope of de-escalation and peace along the Blue Line. Resolution 1701 provides a roadmap which everyone should seek to follow, and we welcome the government's reaffirmation of its support for Resolution 1701. In relation to British nationals in Lebanon, it is very much our hope that since the House last considered this matter, shortly before the recess, the number of Brits who have registered their presence in Lebanon and departed from the country has risen. Mr. Speaker, I want to reiterate that the situation in the West Bank has also deteriorated and become yet more tense. While Israel must protect its vital security interests, we urge the Netanyahu government to do so in such a way that minimises the risk of yet further instability and escalation. Turning finally to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, we want to convey our thanks to the WHO and UNICEF staff who have been racing to get polio vaccinations administered across Gaza. They are doing vital work during this agreed pause. And pauses offer the potential, Mr. Speaker, to get much-needed humanitarian aid in, but also a window to get the hostages out. And pauses can help create the conditions necessary to bring about a sustainable peace. And on the distribution of aid, we strongly support calls for watertight deconfliction processes and the utmost protection of aid workers. Humanitarian aid can only make a difference if it is properly and safely distributed. Guaranteed deconfliction for aid convoys and other humanitarian work is absolutely essential. It is by road and truck that aid must be able to reach Gaza by all routes. This should make humanitarian aid delivery by air and sea unnecessary. Could the Foreign Secretary provide the House with more detail about how we are playing our part in international efforts to get more aid over the border to desperate people? To conclude, Mr. Speaker, we all want the terrible suffering of both the Israeli and Palestinian people to end. It does feel as if we are at a point where this conflict could go in two radically different directions. While the region faces a potential conflagration, it is also possible that cooler heads on all sides might prevail. Britain's role must be to help facilitate a sustainable end to the current suffering. It is only then that we can achieve our aim of lifting people's eyes to the prospect of a different horizon in the future.